So congratulations on Perception.
Yes, Perception.
So for my fans, what's the story about and what's the inspiration behind it?
Well, it's about a small-time psychic who gets involved with a successful businessman who wants to reconnect with his deceased wife. And it tells the story of their relationship, which is rather explosive.
And what's the inspiration behind it?
Well, I'm really interested in exploring how we perceive reality, how each of us perceive it differently, and that reality is not always what it seems to be. And but I'm mostly interested in human drama and stories, but I wanted to have a supernatural backdrop to all of that, just to keep it, compelling and fun to watch.
I'm looking forward to screening it. Can you share a bit the psychic aspect of the film? Is it kind of like Whoopi Goldberg-esque kind of in the ghost, or what can we expect?
Well, there are definitely elements. Yes, The Two Ghosts, which is a classic, fantastic film. But it takes it to another level in the sense of how people can embody other spirits, other sort of characterizations of themselves. And I think we approach it in a different way, kind of bring it into the contemporary right now, while keeping it relevant to social issues that are important now, and gender dynamics and how men and women relate to each other. So it goes a little beyond Ghost in terms, it's a twisted love story.
So, what do you want audiences to take away from the themes of this story?
Well, I think that overall, love is a theme in its many manifestations. Maternal love, love of one's work and profession, and obsessional love, which can be pretty dangerous. So to sort of explore how love can manifest in these different ways and how it can actually affect people profoundly.
Last question. Female filmmakers or women in filmmaking, is it still an uphill battle, or is in 2018, what else needs to be done?
Well, I definitely think it's an uphill battle. But for me personally, I try not to think about that too much. I don't want to marginalize myself ever or see myself as a victim in any way. But sure, I had to, throughout my whole career, this is my first feature length, but I've made shorts and documentaries, and I was in the art world, and sustained quite a hefty amount of harassment and discrimination. But instead of quitting, I just kept going because it was infuriating. And I think that it's very important that young women see other women on set. My PAs were young women, like half my age basically, and they came up to me after and said how great it was to work with a woman in charge on set. So to be a role model for younger women and to keep them going and to not be discouraged, because some people just stop when they hear a bad word, or they get a comment, or an inappropriate touch. That's enough for them to drop out of the business. And unfortunately, that does happen to women more than men, and that's why the numbers are so imbalanced, sadly.
Well, you persisted, and congratulations on your feature film directorial debut.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the
Nice
evening.
talking.
Congratulations on Perception.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what is it about Ilana and Brian's script that drew you to the character Daniel and the project?
Well, I think it was the whole story. I had watched some of Ilana's work after I found out she was directing it. But originally, and I loved her vision for the way she works, but originally it was the script itself that spoke to me. The characters seemed to jump right off the page and into my mind, and I thought if we can, if what I'm envisioning, if we can bring even some aspect of this to life, then maybe it'll really be worth sharing with everybody.
Looking forward to screening it. Can you tease us, or maybe share a story about the dynamic between you and Mira on the screen?
Well, the dynamic, I would say, is organic and complex and eventually twisted, but in an honest way. And I like that. That's part of what captivated me about the writing.
Is that what makes this love story unique?
Yes, yes. If you want to call it a love story, I'm not sure. I might use some other words to describe it, but you know, it's a bit obsessive at times. It's a bit unconventional at times, and it certainly gets dark at times. But all of that, I think, lends itself to great storytelling.
I gotta ask you this fun question.
Okay.
Have you ever had experience with psychic? Do you believe that kind of stuff?
I haven't had many experiences, but I wouldn't project that to mean that I don't believe in it. I certainly am open to it. I think the world and the universe speaks to us energetically in all kinds of different ways, and I wouldn't be one to put down one over another on any given day. You know, nature is real, and energy is real, and our moods are real, and we have to pay attention to that stuff. So, you know, to each their own.
I love it. Now, before I let you go, what's your advice for aspiring actors out there?
Don't give up. Believe in your instincts. Hone your instincts. Listen to other people. Listen to yourself. And don't give up.
Mira, congratulations on Perception.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
for my fans, a little bit about the story and the character.
Yeah, so the character, I play a woman named Nina, and she comes from a family lineage of people with psychic ability. And her mother had the gift, that's what we call it, a very strong gift. And what they say is that it skips a generation. And her mother had it very strongly. And she's a little bit still she's a little bit less confident about what her gift and what her abilities are, and than her mother's, who was very clear about what she was seeing and what she could do and what she could channel. Now, so she works as a psychic, and she has a little boy, a little 8-year-old boy who is atypical, and she lives with her mom and her little boy, and they're very working class. She works very hard to make ends meet. It constantly feels as though ends are not meeting. Her store is about to get shut down because we live in this country where, you know, family-owned things get shut down easily, especially something as kind of narrow as, you know, a fortune-telling place. So she works very hard. She meets Daniel, and Daniel, she sees all this stuff in him, and she kind of sees it as like there are multiple things. There's kind of like, you know, an opportunity to really help him in this specific way that she can, and also she doesn't have a lot of time for romance in her life. She doesn't get out a lot. She does, you know, she doesn't socialize a lot, and she is young, you know, and so she also is, you know, finds him attractive. And so Daniel represents a lot of things that she doesn't have in her life. Daniel is also very wealthy and comes from this Wall Street world of money and like a very different life than what she comes with. Yeah, and so she follows that.
I gotta ask you because I asked Wes this question. Do you yourself believe in psychic? I mean, what's your relief on that aspect?
I don't.
Okay.
But sometimes I believe in ghosts, and I'm scared of ghosts, so I hope that that's also not true. That'll be my answer.
So I gotta ask you, what makes this love story by the screenwriter Lana and Brian's? What is it about that's unique compared to other love stories we've seen? It's
not a love story.
Oh, it's not a love story.
That's how it's unique.
All right. You said Daniel and Nina.
Yeah. If it were a love story, it would be a very dark. Well, I guess maybe it starts off as a potential love story, but not to give it away. But I would not categorize it as a love story.
There's a twist. There's a twist. I like that. Now, before I let you go, share some advice for aspiring actors out there. What do they need to look out for?
Yeah, I mean, follow good projects. Follow the people that you're attracted to, their talent, their writing, their sense of aesthetic, and I don't think you can go wrong. there's a lot of can I say bad words? Yeah, there's a lot of BS bullshit in this industry, and it's easy to be caught up in what people tell you success is. But sometimes you'll do those certain projects and you're like, well, that wasn't really that fun or fulfilling. So just do the things follow the things that fulfill you, and you can't go wrong.
Mira, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations on Perception.
Thank